Hello, and a very warm welcome to this episode of the Totally Content podcast. We're your hosts, Matt Eaton and Elisabeth Knulst. In this podcast series, we're aiming to explore all facets of content, the people, processes, technologies, monetization, and data management regarding content. We will try to find out how to get organized, inspire you with new insights, find industry experts to share their knowledge and ideas, and ultimately make people totally content. In today's episode, we will be talking about our highlights from the 2024 Henry Stewart DAM Europe Conference in London. We'll be talking data, video, and content ecosystems. I hope you enjoy. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, I'm doing really good. Oh, Matt, it was so good to see you and to actually have a shared experience there as well in person. And
Yeah,
that was really, really good. I've managed
yeah,
to, recover from the experience because it was quite intense. It was really good, but I fully enjoyed it. How about
yeah.
yourself?
Good. I'm a big fan of the new venue. Um, I particularly liked the catering. That was really good. I don't know if you got a chance to to grab anything
Yes,
in between your
yes.
talks, but yeah, I was really impressed.
Yeah, it was really good. It's funny how it's the basic things that become more important. But yeah, I fully agree. It does. So having this venue, which is a complete change to what we had in the past, is such a relief, and it just gives it such a new vibe to the whole thing. Food was
Yeah.
fantastic, and also being able to sit down and meet people over breakfast, lunch, dinner. That was
Well, what a lovely community we're part
oh,
of, the Dam community.
it is. And I really felt that there were some fantastic speakers and I got some really good takeaways, really good insights. Also, the quality of the presentations I thought was really good. Also from the panel, um, the it was a high quality, so nobody really just winged it, or so good preparations, good quality presentations, and good insights. So I thought that was really good as well. But
Yeah,
you
no,
also you had a fantastic panel, but and you already shared some of your insights on that day, but that was on the second day in the morning. So what are your key takeaways? What is the things
yeah.
that stood out to you the most?
I suppose the big thing, because of my background with um, machine learning and data, um,
Yes.
that was front and center of most people's presentations, which was so refreshing to see. I mean, I know we've talked about metadata lots in the past, but
It's also funny that you say machine learning, because you make the statement that the majority
mm,
is not AI and that it's actually
mhm,
machine learning. Some people,
mhm,
agree to disagree.
mhm.
I'm with you.
Absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of using technology to solve problems, and I think there are some great use cases where machine learning can automate, can save a lot of time, and even ChatGPT and the speaker from GSK was describing
Yes.
how they're using DAM data to train their own ChatGPT um, service, which is just super interesting. Look, I suppose where I come from is more sort of managing expectations.
Yes.
I
Oh,
think
I
if you
love
call it
that.
AI, they go, well, oh look, it doesn't work. Oh look, it's
That's a lot of
stupid. Of course, it's
work. Yeah.
stupid. It's it's it can spot patterns, whether those patterns are in audio or video or images or text. It can spot patterns, and I'm talking of machine learning, not the large language models. That obviously is slightly um, more complex. It, but it's interesting. The vendors are using AI a lot. I think, like you say, there is a gap though. And I see it online on
Yes.
social media, especially among creatives who are
Yes.
very nervous about AI. Um, and I think using that term too much will actually turn people off. I think it was Stephen McKillop from Diageo mentioned, an asset's only an asset if you can find it.
Yes.
And
Absolutely. Yeah.
this technology has the ability to help you find an asset and make it more valuable and reuse it and repurpose it. Perfect. But
Yeah. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
let's
exactly.
let's
It's the big but, isn't it? Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. What I also found very interesting was actually Romney Whitehead from Borrowed Insight, where she started mentioning, the therapy session, because doing DAM is hard, doing MAM is hard. It's hard work. It doesn't always mean a lot of people were on their second, third, or fourth implementation of that DAM. So it doesn't come naturally. And I thought that was interesting as well. Also, if you look into the development of technology in the last, decade or so, where we moved from on-prem to cloud, and we have all these new features, and a lot of customers have built custom thingies on top of their DAM and their MAM to make it work, which comes out of the box right now.
Mhm.
So at what point do you then start replacing your dam? It was also from Steve Lake from Stanley Black& Decker, where he said, we replaced the old thing. I came in and replaced the old thing. Doesn't mean that the old one was bad, but we just needed to have a fresh start. I thought that was interesting as well. It's harder than it looks. It's
Mhm.
not all just fun in the park and easy. It's hard work to get it to work, and there are a lot of challenges where we can learn from each other, but also people learn the hard way. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, exactly. There were a few sessions was in attended, and they were where governance was brought up a lot as well. And so it's the technology is one thing, but it needs to be governance needs to be wrapped around it. So yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
So I think the whole 2 days was a therapy session, really.
it was. Oh gosh, yes. And now we needed to recover from that because it was in depth. True. Now, talking
Yeah,
about that session on the video Wonderland,
yeah,
because um, Neil indicated that video was massive in the US compared to what it was at Henry Stewart here. You
mm,
did a fantastic panel with some really big names that you had in your panel, so there you go.
mm,
Um, Maybe it's how we curated the whole event, but I was thinking how much of this is actually a cultural difference,
mm,
whereas video consumption may be higher in the US. I don't know. I just don't know.
mm,
Or do we perceive it differently? I don't know. What do you
mm.
think?
There was some interesting stats. I mean, Gordon Castle from AWS mentioned that social video was 1,200% more likely um, to be engaged with by consumers than text or images. I mean, with that kind of power for marketeers, it's no wonder that they're investing so much in video. And I think, just the quality of video, the barriers of entry to video production, have almost disappeared. I mean,
Yes, true.
your phone now can provide 4K video without any problems, and um, I think there is a gap in terms of. I think there's an opportunity to kind of close that gap around, how you manage it and some of the technical understanding of video as well. Um, I think there are a number of sessions that the question around what's the difference between MAM, media asset management, and DAM, digital asset management, came up, and it was quite interesting listening to the 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 the, the answers. For various reasons, with the size of the video assets, the moving them around, things like tiered storage. So you want your assets that you're working on to be accessible, but you don't want to pay through the roof for that privilege. And talking about proxies, video proxies, and this is all bread and butter stuff, as we say, from a MAM system to manage this.
But it's the engineering. It's the engineering which makes it different. So when you look at the DAM and the MAM, when it comes to taxonomies and metadata and searching and all that core end user capabilities, they're exactly the same. But if you look at it from an engineering perspective and the technology that comes around it, yes, of course, nowadays with photography, you can have a RAW which is heavy, but it will never be as heavy as a video RAW, for example. So that is the biggest difference. And what we talked about to each other in the previous podcast as well is that it is okay to have multiple systems. And I found that intriguing when we were discussing it, and I saw it on the event now as well. You do not need the one tool to rule them all. It is okay to get your best practice application, and whether that's a PIM, a DAM, a MAM, content management, web CMS, headless, whatever, it is okay to stack. I thought that was interesting as well.
My third sort of theme was around ecosystems, content ecosystems. Lots of people were talking about, which is great. Sort of understanding that you could have a MAM system, you could have a production asset management system, as well as a DAM, potentially, if you're using them in different ways, and they don't need to overlap in functionality. They could be used in a complementary way, but it's the data that binds it all together. Having that consistent.
Yes, true. I love that you're saying that.
ID.
Yes. Yeah, because in the process where we were also always struggling with people, process, technology, a lot of change management I heard as well.
Yeah.
We moved away a lot from the technology, and we started talking about the people and the people working with the systems and how to get them to adapt. Then it's the data that binds it all together. Now, one question, it's a cheeky question, so here it comes. But when we're talking about change management, a lot of people indicate it's not sexy. DAM is not sexy. Operations is not sexy. Have we managed to make it a little bit more sexy, this event?
I think it's less to do with a fixed kind of stuffy, static kind of management of assets to much more of an enabler for the business to offer new services. When you start talking about the ecosystem rather than an archive. And I love archives. I'm not going to say anything against archives.
But as I said, I'm the big nerd. I don't care. So I love that
but
too.
You know what I mean? There's a perception of an archive that is more static than a dynamic supply chain sort of ecosystem that can respond quickly to changing needs and
and it's also it becomes much more as a center of the universe, which was also explained into the workshop of David Lipsey and Graham Allen, where they said, it's like the sun, everything evolves around that sun. So it's all add-ons, but it's still the core is still the DAM. So that I found an interesting positioning of a DAM. But also if you look into beyond ROI, so it's beyond the investment that you do for a DAM, and it's really about tracking KPIs, tracking your content KPIs, and how you can evolve and how you can get a much more centralized position within the organization, because you really are adding value. It really is an asset to the organization. And I think that is becoming a little bit more clear now also that we're doing BI and intelligence around the dam and the assets that we have. Yeah. So making a little bridge to where we're going from here, there's life after Henry Stewart Dam Europe. We managed to talk to a few people who are willing to collaborate on a podcast. So I'm really looking forward to that. Doing a little deeper dive on their sessions maybe, or just in general, new people to the business. I'm looking forward to that as well. But probably it's going to be after summer.
Yeah, exactly. Looking forward to talking to some of the guests that appeared at the Henry Stewart conference, and diving a bit deeper into some of those areas. So yeah, looking forward to that. Well, we should sign off here and wish everyone a relaxing summer, and I hope you get a break. What are you up to, Elisabeth, over the summer?
Yeah, so first there's going to be a big holiday travel going around. So 4 weeks to Costa Rica, with as little screen time as possible. So I've got a lot of inspiration from this Henry Stewart event, so stuff that I want to do, but usually that just involves me bringing a little booklet and a pen and writing it down, and then pick that up after summer. So,
excellent.
And of course, rounding up now 3 more weeks, and then rounding up all loose ends on all the projects. How about yourself?
Well, yeah, I've got it just a week away in the States, visiting some extended family over there, and looking forward to going over there just before the election. So that'll be interesting.
That's a whole different podcast series, isn't it?
Well, thank goodness we don't need to talk about that. Yeah.
Oh no, no. I'm also not an expert. I'm interested, but I'm not an expert.
Exactly. Very good, and we'll be back in September.